Hi, Yogi. Lizzie Lassiter with an AI content creation shortcut for yoga teachers. Let me share my screen and show you the steps we're going to go through today. I'm going to show you how I capture an idea in real time, brainstorm through free writing, transcribe what I've written, and polish it using ChatGPT. Um, don't be scared. And then some simple graphic design tips, and then sharing it on social media. I know I didn't become a yoga teacher because I love creating content. I became a yoga teacher because I love yoga. But in today's world, creating content is part of the game of doing business and reaching people where they are, which is on their phones. So I would love for you to subscribe to the waitlist for my Start Before You're Ready mentorship program. The link is below. When you do, you'll also get invited. Let me show you. I'll send you the Zoom link for a free class. This is my website, LizzieLassiter.com. I'm doing a free class on AI for yoga teachers. You can also find it through my website. And this is about creating content with AI. I'm going to share in that class my favorite workflows. So if you sign up on the link below, you'll get the Zoom link to this class, you'll get the recording, and you'll get early access to future videos here before they're available to everybody else on YouTube. Okay, so let's actually go back here on my website and let's go to this Instagram post that we're working with today. This is the post. I posted it like 3 hours ago, 3.5 hours ago, and it's gone crazy. It's a huge number of likes for me, comments, shares. If you just compare it to like this swipe was 84 likes. So this is really hitting a nerve. Let's look at what the post is, and then I'll go through with you the 5-step process. Yoga teachers lie, very hooky, grabs your attention. Yoga teachers aren't always in perfect mental or physical health. I've been around the yoga community my whole life, is kind of framing why I know what I'm talking about or why I have a perspective to share. My mama studied personally with BKS Iyengar, and has taught since 1972. Like I've been in the yoga world. I know a lot of behind the scenes stories. And I've watched yoga teachers go through knee surgeries, hip replacements, heart attacks, depression, divorce, and so much more. Practicing yoga isn't about becoming immortal. This is like such a huge myth, that we're always healthy. It's about embracing my mortality, my flawed body, and my sometimes stormy mind. Sharing this truth with humility and vulnerability is a gift. The more I embrace my humanity, the more I give my students permission to embrace theirs. This is the heart of sharing yoga. So, this is a post that grew out of, quite honestly, walking to my Pilates class this morning. And I had the thought, like, I could write a novel, I could fill a book of all of the stories I know about yoga teachers who are unwell. And that conflict that I feel, that I'm guessing you may have felt, between being someone who stands at the front of the room and talks about wellness, and then the truth that we are of the nature to grow sick, old, and die, as our Buddhist friends like to remind us. So I had that thought walking to Pilates, and I usually, when I have a thought like that, where I think, zing, yes, this is the kind of beginning of something, I capture it immediately. I have a note in my notes app on my phone. I just would write down a couple words to remind myself. This in real time capturing is super important, and it's a really key part of, I think, content longevity. So the next time I sit down to create content, I'm not like starting from scratch. I open up that note and I think, oh, what have I been thinking about? What are a couple of ideas? Or sometimes when I'm teaching, or writing an email one-to-one with a student, like one sentence will jump out at me as like, oh, that's yummy. I like that. And then I'll put it in that note. So that's the capturing piece. And then I brainstorm through free writing. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to actually share my scanned journal pages from this morning with you. It looks like setting a timer for 10 minutes on my watch and sitting down with a cup of coffee and writing. And this is writing, um, it's not writing in a performative way. I know I'm not going to share what I'm saying here, so I feel really free to just let it kind of tumble out of me. What's coming up in the handwriting is often kind of loose and messy. I often say when I teach this process in workshops, I say, pretend you're getting paid by the word. So it's like you're just trying to keep the pen moving across the page. So you can see yoga is a lie. Like I already had that in my, that was kind of there in the first instinct about it. And then I just started dumping out what came. I've been around yoga my entire life, and I've seen yoga teachers my entire life feel ashamed of their bodies and hide the truth that they aren't in perfect health. Then listing the things people I know have gone through: high blood pressure, knee surgeries, heart arrhythmia. Me, I thought maybe I would kind of do a whole list of problems I've known and then say me to the ones that I have. We feel an enormous pressure, shame to portray a picture of perfect health. But the truth is, practicing yoga doesn't make you immortal. It doesn't spare you from the indignities of aging. I like that, but didn't end up using it. That, in my opinion, and that's, in my opinion, the something, I don't know what I said there, the only goal. What practicing yoga does is anchor me into this present moment, this body, this vulnerability, this sickness, disease, pathology, so that I can embrace my mortality. And then I wrote serious, like I did a little pause there and I thought, okay, this is a serious version of a Instagram post that starts with yoga teachers lie. And I had an idea, okay, what if I reverse it? What if I don't go in that direction today? What if I go in kind of a funnier way? Because I thought yoga teachers lie. We say 3 more breaths in Utkatasana when we really mean 30 more breaths. Um, but then I was like, no, that was kind of like an intrusive thought that I was having, that thing about like, what do we lie about when we teach kind of like benign, silly yoga teacher lies? I have to say, this work that I'm showing you here, there is such a mindfulness component to it, to the writing process, to the capturing process I spoke about. When you have an idea and you capture it, yoga teachers, you as a yoga teacher, are so perfectly placed for this because we spend so much time focused on interoception, interiority, interior landscape mindfulness. So we can see what's bubbling up and we have some sense of being able to watch it and capture it. So I noticed that kind of intrusive thought about the funny thing. And then I thought, okay, no. And I wanted to go back to the serious one. And then what I did, I do this a lot. I started over. So I had written that first version and then I just wrote it again, like draft two, without looking at the first one that I wrote the page before. I just started writing it again. Yoga teachers lie. I've been around the yoga community my entire life with my mama, who studied personally with BKS Iyengar and has been teaching since 1972. Yoga teachers aren't in perfect health. And then I added mental and physical because I thought, oh, yeah, that's another dimension. I was kind of, when I first started this post, thinking of it as only physical health, but hello, mental health. Um, I've watched yoga teachers go through and then like the list, and see depression and divorce I crossed out. And then I ended up using it at the end. So I wasn't sure yet if I was going to do the mental health piece. Practicing yoga is not about becoming immortal. It's about embracing my mortality, my flawed body, and unwell mind, I wrote. Sharing this vulnerable truth with our students with humility and vulnerability is a gift. So you can see now how already the second version has a lot of what is in the final post. This is all coming through me. These are my words, my biological intelligence. I haven't touched the AI tool yet. Then what I do, and I'm going to show you exactly how that works. Let me share my screen with you. This is my ChatGPT window. I recommend you download the app onto your computer. I also recommend you pay the $20 a month version. Um, and what I do is I open up a new chat and I use this little button here. When you click on this little button, you can start talking into it and it transcribes whatever you say. Once you click the check mark, you're going to see that talking into it transcribes whatever you say. I, as a yoga teacher, speak more easily than I actually type. So I use speaking all the time. When I'm creating content. It's a hack that I figured out years ago when I was having trouble writing and feeling stuck, I would record myself speaking. And then I personally, 10 years ago, would transcribe what I had written. That was before this tool was available. So this is what I said as the opening prompt for this process. Okay, we're composing an Instagram swipe. That's where there's multiple slides. So there's going to be 5, 8, 10 slides. Tell me the maximum number of slides is. I'm not sure. First, I want you to transcribe what I've written, and then we're going to edit it. So that's a prompt I use a lot. Please transcribe what I've written and then edit it. Otherwise, if you just read in what you've written, sometimes ChatGPT already like polishes it and thinks they need to make it, and it turns out too generic. So I ask it to stick closely to my words. It tells me, ChatGPT tells me that's 10 slides is the maximum. And then I read in that second version of what I had written. Um, and then it transcribes it exactly as I've written it. And then I say, okay, can you break it down into slides and tighten it up a little bit? Make it just a bit shorter. Use mostly my words. You can polish it a little, but make it shorter. This is a key thing in our, I'm going to stop sharing just to highlight this. You know this, but many of you are not practicing this. Our attention spans are microscopic, and it is a service to reach people with clarity. Even William Shakespeare said, brevity is the soul of wit, or writing things in a short way is the core of being intelligent. So, yes, shorten, shorten, shorten. I cannot emphasize that enough. Okay, then here it's broken it down into the slides, and I just do a few little tweaks about. At that point, it's like 95% there. I just go a few rounds. This is the truth of yoga. I wasn't sure exactly it was that. And then I said, no, maybe this is the heart of yoga. Maybe this is the heart of sharing yoga, the true heart of yoga. I was playing a little bit with like the slide 1 saying the word lie, and then slide 10 maybe having the word truth in it. And then I asked it to make a simple caption for me. Um, um, let's add the word always. Yoga teachers aren't always in perfect health. Okay, and then this is a great prompt to say. I wasn't happy with the word treacherous. I said my treacherous mind, and I thought, oh, that sounds too strong. Give me a list of 10 ideas instead of treacherous, different words that could be for treacherous. So then it gives me this list, um, and I say, oh, okay, the sentence is stormy, my flawed body and my sometimes stormy mind. So we have the sometimes, and then I picked stormy from that list. Oh, my sometimes stormy mind. I like the alliteration of the S and S. So that's essentially how I do it. Then I ask it to give me some hashtags at the end, which I didn't end up using, but that is the process. It's very quick, it's very direct, and it gets me into an operative, like where I'm actually doing something to create the post, and I get out of my editor mind and my what am I going to say mind, and do I have anything to say mind, and I'm an imposter, and who wants to hear from me, and I hate social media, and all of the spinning that we have. So essentially, what we've done thus far, I'm walking to Pilates, I have an idea, I jot it down on a note. Later, when I'm back home after I've taken the kids to kindergarten and I have that quiet of my first cup of coffee, I'm journaling for 10 minutes. Then I'm reading that into ChatGPT using that little audio button, and it's helping me to divide it up and tweak a word or two to make it flow the way that I want it to. Okay, the next step is simple graphic design and then sharing on social. So we're almost done here. I will share my screen with you and show you my Canva file. Many of you know Canva. It's pretty straightforward. I have a file that I just, every time I make a new Instagram swipe, I just copy paste, copy that file. And so it's always slightly evolving, but I had someone help me with a brand design, a brand redesign this year. And so it's like the fonts are picked here, the colors are picked. I'm not thinking now as I go in and translate, copy paste that text from ChatGPT into here. I'm not doing any graphic design work. I'm just doing the same thing. We can look on my Instagram that I did from for the last post. It's like it's all kind of there. And because I copy paste the file, sometimes I make little evolutions and then that carries forward. So I don't have to rethink it or start from scratch every time. Like this is our little symbol, these two circles with the dot in the middle. Those symbolize me and my mom holding the students and the community. And so a little while ago, I was like putting those on the first slide of the swipe, and now I've switched to putting them on the last. I think it's even more subtle. So stuff like that, very small graphic tweaks. I think less is more. I'm definitely a minimalist in terms of graphic design. This type of a post for me is not about distracting people. I kind of want to eliminate everything I can and just give them the words. Even, for example, this swipe about my free class, I have an image, but then it's the same image every time. So it's not cacophonous. It's just, I actually had made this image, this graphic, and then I thought, oh, that would be interesting if the swipe like sort of unfolds into there. So it starts with this question, this hook is creating content for your yoga business, making you feel burnt out. And then it unfolds with the same image until we get here. So that's how I think of it. You can create a simple Canva file. Canva knows the right dimensions for Instagram. It formats it correctly and just start putting your text in there. It's trial by error. It's like you make something, you post it, and then a few days later, the next thing you post, you can always change. You can always evolve. You can tweak the layout, the colors, but get started. Get every time you post on social media, it's an up at bat, that American baseball reference. It's like a trial run. So I think it helps us. The more we post, the better we get at it. I mean, the more cakes you bake, the better you are at making a cake. That's just good math. I live in Austria, so cakes are very important here. Okay, so the last thing is sharing it, put it out there. I'll show you one thing I wanted to show you about the caption because this is so wordy, like I'm explaining I'm leading you through a whole kind of thought process and making, in a way, an argument. Then the caption doesn't need to be long for me. Then I don't put like 6 paragraphs in the caption where I'm telling you a bunch of stuff. All I'm saying here is my main goal with this post is like for you to heart it, for you to connect with this idea, for you to give yourself permission to be mortal and a reminder of like, yeah, like it helps my students. I am so passionate about supporting yoga teachers like you. And so I think of this as just like a little Hershey's kiss, a little love bomb that I'm just kind of sending out into the metaverse. And I don't really need anything from that. This, in terms of a business perspective, I'm not trying to get you to buy anything from that post. I don't want anything from you except for just to share this thing that feels true to me and see if it resonates with you. So, once again, all the links are below in the caption for everything that I mentioned. I hope you will click through and jump on my Start Before You're Ready list. Then you will get notified of new videos like this before everybody else. And yeah, you'll come along the journey, the Start Before You're Ready journey. Thank you so much. Namaste. Have a great day and post something good. Comment below. Tell me if this inspired you to do anything, to post anything. Post it below and I will click through and like and comment whatever you've made. Super proud of you.